episode 2 of my YouTube series, Simple, Effective Match Skills. So if you did miss episode 1, I'll put a link on the screen right now. We worked on the blind inside turn. I'd recommend checking that one out before moving into this one. But episode 2 is based around the move La Croqueta. So the La Croqueta is another very simple move. However, there is a specific technique that makes this one more effective. But the basic concept is you're just exchanging the ball from one side of the body to the other using the inside of your feet to get around your opponent. Now, just to talk about the times on the pitch where you might want to use this, you can use this in any position. You can be out on the wing, using it on the sideline. You can be in the center of the park, using it to get by 1 or 2 players. It can be used by any position on the pitch. So I'd recommend using this one and adapting this one into your inventory if you are a footballer in any position. This is going to be very effective and very useful in a match. So a good time to use this move is when the defender is approaching you head on. So you're faced one-on-one with your opponent. I'm just going to reenact the defender's positioning for a second. So something that I like to do when I'm transferring the ball from one side to the other, depending on what side I want to transfer the ball, whether it's from right to left or from left to right, is dependent on the defender's movements himself. So if this is the defender, he's facing me one-on-one and he starts to put in a challenge. I'm looking for what leg he's going to be leading with. So if he's leading with his left leg, I want to move the ball from my left to my right and go down his weak side. His weak side is basically his backside, because that means in order for him to chase me down after I've made the move, he has to do a whole spin in order to get me. However, if he was lunging in with his left leg and I played it down this side of him, he's already in a position where he can start chasing me down nice and quickly. So you always want to look for their movements and react off of it. So whatever leg they lunge with first, try and take your move down the weak side of that leg. So just to talk about the technique you're actually going to use when exchanging the ball between your 2 feet. A lot of people think that you're just going to knock it and knock it again. It's 2 taps like that. However, there's a high risk of losing control of the ball when you do this, because when you're running at top speed, in order for you to do a tap and a tap again, it's happening at such a quick pace that it has to be very accurate. So it's very unlikely that if you're running at full speed that you're going to be able to perform this move using this technique. So something that's really helped me adapt this move and use it effectively in a match, instead of doing a tap between the 2 feet like this, with your foot that's initiating the move, you want to actually keep in contact with the ball until you've switched it to the other side. So instead of tapping the ball from one side to the other like this, you're actually going to drag it. So it's staying in contact with your foot as it moves across your body. And then once it meets the other foot, you're going to then push it out in front of you again. So instead of a tap and a tap, you're actually going to drag it. So it's going to be nice and smooth, and this allows you to keep good control of the ball even when you're moving at high speed. And the final step in the La Croqueta is once you've pushed that ball across your body and you make contact with the other foot and start to push it out in front of you, you already want to be in an acceleration position. You want to accelerate immediately upon making contact with that ball. So it's happening all at one time. You don't want to make the move and then accelerate, because that's just going to give the defender more time to reset, more chance of him closing you down. Alright guys, so that's episode 2 complete for simple but effective match play skills. That was La Croqueta. So just to review, the best time to make the move is on the defender's weak side. So whatever foot they lunge forward with, make the move round their weak side so that it's harder for them to reset and chase after you. And the second point to remember, it's not 2 taps between the feet, you're almost dragging it and keeping touch of that ball in between the whole movement so you keep more control of the ball. And make sure you accelerate immediately after performing the move. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you give this one a go.